It's time for Spring Hill High School football.
One to the right side. Braden throws the slant for Kroll. In and out. Did he catch it on the bobble? He did. Bryson Kroll hauls it in for a 9-yard touchdown reception.
Spring Hill Sports Live is brought to you by Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning, Price Chopper, Kim Thompson at Prudential Financial, the Spring Hill Recreation Commission, Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center, Cedar Lake Village, Crown Realty, the Elliott Insurance Group, Prime Accounting Solutions, Farmers Insurance, Leah Smith Agency, Tri-Century Bank, Allstate, Libby Clark Agency, the Spring Hill Chamber of Commerce, Spring Hill Fitness, Perfect Detail Salon, and Whitesell Optometry.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time for Bronco football.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
And good evening from Spring Hill High School and the debut as well of Spring Hill Sports Live here on SpringHillSportsLive.com and our YouTube channel. And we welcome you to our maiden voyage here on Spring Hill Sports Live. Bryce Kessler along with BJ Harris and Caton Cabajo as we are ready for a little preseason, if you will, high school football action. A new thing here in Kansas this year, these preseason jamborees. KC Turner and Leavenworth High School both in town here tonight with the Spring Hill Broncos to mix it up a little bit. The old soap scrimmage with a little bit of a different take, and not your own jerseys. You get to mix it up a little bit with a different team, and I know Coach Feeback looking forward to this opportunity for his guys. I'm sure that Turner and Leavenworth the same, looking forward to this opportunity. And before we really get into this, though, BJ, let's talk a little bit about Spring Hill Sports Live and what we're bringing here to Spring Hill High School, the community, and a great opportunity here.
Yeah, really excited to be able to bring this to Spring Hill and Spring Hill High School. And I think the community, I certainly believe the community is just as excited, if not more so, than I am to get this thing cranking a little bit. It's new. We moved here. My wife and my family just moved into the town. I've been broadcasting for 18 years and started a little live streaming thing a couple of years ago back at my alma mater, Girard High School. And when we moved up here, it was something that wasn't being done in Spring Hill, and we thought we'd give it a shot. And fortunately for us, the business community has jumped on board and done what we needed to do to be able to get it on board. And then I was very fortunate to stumble upon an experienced broadcaster yourself to bring on as well. And then young Caden has jumped on as well to be our cameraman and help you a little bit as well. So we've got a great crew, and hopefully we got a great product on the field here in football and the other sports we're going to cover, which is exciting as well to be able to do not just football and basketball, but we'll do some volleyball, some soccer, some wrestling as well. And who knows, I'm trying to talk you into doing a tennis match or two, but we haven't got there yet.
30 love. We're looking forward to it. We got a full slate of broadcasts set up for this year, and hopefully only can grow from this point forward. We'll talk a little bit more about our broadcast schedule here in this fall season as we move along here this evening, as it is a little new for everybody. Our first opportunity to broadcast for you here in Spring Hill and this new Jamboree. Run down a few of the, information points, if you will. I didn't know the right word to use. The rules here for these new Jamborees. All NFHS football playing rules will apply. The only exception is the coaches are allowed on the field during these Jamborees, so they can get out there and coach the guys up a little bit and use it as it's a scrimmage, but it's just organized against another team that way. Each team's going to have 4 sessions with 9 offensive and 9 defensive plays per session. So a total of 36 offensive and 36 defensive plays for each team tonight. There will not be any kicking or special teams of any kind. It's just offense versus defense. Plays will begin on the 40-yard line. They'll work towards the goal line they will have first downs. The chains will move and all of that. 3 and outs, they'll come and reset it back at the 40-yard line. So if you do go 3 and out offensively, it's not your session's not over. You still get your 9 plays in your session. They'll just move it back to the 40-yard line and go from there. Penalties will be assessed as normal, other than you can't move any further back than the 40-yard line. So anything penalty-wise on the 40 will just remain at the 40, but they will result in a loss of a play for penalties. So that's kind of important, I guess, if you will, if you're trying to maximize the opportunities to run so many plays. If you have a pre-snap penalty, that's a loss of your play. So no false starts out there. Don't jump off sides. Hold your water, as they always would tell us back in the day. Maybe they still use that term. I don't know. Officiating crews are out there, and they're kind of using this as some training for some younger officials as well. And they are going to have some quick whistles. It is preseason. It is scrimmage. We don't want any injuries. That's really probably the highest on the list of what to accomplish in this thing for every coach out there and every team is get out of it healthy. We hear that a lot with the NFL preseason going on now. Well, now they're finished, but get out of it healthy. So there will be quick whistles to help protect the players here tonight. And I don't know, we'll see whether any of these schools opt to, but they can have their quarterback wear a penny or a different color jersey to keep the defenders off of their quarterbacks. It looks, from what I can see now, that they're all in the same uniforms, so unless they throw a penny on a quarterback, I guess they're fair game tonight as well. But anyway, hoping no injuries for everybody tonight. Yeah, for sure. And I've talked to a lot of coaches about this Jamboree thing, and this is something that's been done, in Missouri and Oklahoma for quite a while, and it's brand new this year. Kudos to KC to do that and try this out for this year, and it's been pretty well received. Every coach I've talked to is excited about it. Across the state of Kansas, and probably not so much at this level, the 4A, 5A level, but you start getting down to the 2A, 3A, 1A level, you just don't have enough guys to scrimmage each other, in a productive manner. And so hopefully this gives you a chance to get a look at 11 on guys, and those other 11 guys are going to be the number ones for their team most likely. And so it certainly gives you a much better opportunity to evaluate and see where you're at. And let's face it, for Spring Hill, they need to know how good they are right off the bat because they got a pretty good team coming in a week. Yeah, Lewisburg will be here next Friday night, which you can watch that game live. Hopefully come out and pack the stands here, obviously, at Spring Hill High School. But for anybody who can't make it or you've got out-of-town family or whatnot, we will have that game for you. And that's a big one coming up next Friday night. And chance here, little scrimmage action. I'm going to give a disclaimer as well here. This is not going to be your full play-by-play normal broadcast. Probably going to hear, that's a pretty good play to start there. Corbin Myers threads it right down the seam to a wide-open receiver for the touchdown on one play for Spring Hill High School. It's their offense going up against KC Turner's defense to start this out. And, Zach Knowlton right down the seam, right on the money from Corbin Myers, and I think Coach Feeback would take a little bit more of that. That's a pretty good start. Pretty wide open right down the middle of that seam, and it just kind of caught the secondary not quite ready to go. Turner, a program that struggles a little bit, and for Spring Hill, they're going to be undersized. I would imagine almost every matchup they go into, but they're going to make up with that with speed, and you got a chance to see it right there. They like the spread. They're going to spread things out. Zayd Barker, he's the lone back, as you see in the set, behind Corbin Myers, and Barker coming off of a big year last year, ran for nearly 900 yards and 11 touchdowns. As Myers again goes to the air and tries to swing it back out to the man of the hour, Zach Knowlton, but that one off his fingertips falls incomplete. You mentioned Turner. They were 1-8 last year. Spring Hill 4-5 last year. They were a playoff team the year before, and so again, preseason Jamboree, get a chance to get your ones versus their ones. You don't have to have the inter squad stuff when you might not get your best look, and Spring Hill, as you mentioned, going to try to really get a test that first week. So they really important here for them here tonight. Yeah, and also these scrimmages like this are an opportunity to test your depth as well. Get guys in there, get them under the gun, so to speak, and see how they do. If they're the number twos, have them play against the other team's number ones, and then you get a chance to really see whether they're Friday night ready. And that was Barker on the carry right there for Spring Hill, who got a nice 10-yard run out to the outside. Not a big guy. And Zayd is not a big running back. As you look at, they list him at 5'8", 170 pounds. He put on a little weight according to the roster from last year. I don't know. We'll put him on a scale, but no, I mean he's not a big guy, but good for these spread style offenses because he's going to get a lot of space when you've got four receivers and they obviously try to get the defense spread out enough to use his elusiveness, his quickness, and last year I mentioned almost 900 yards. He scored 11 touchdowns. He's a guy for not being very big. He's, again, the deep back here behind Myers, and again takes a handoff. Nice cut to the outside. Good job offensive line up front. Barker's all the way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. I don't have a roster for KC Turner, so unfortunately I won't be naming off a lot of these defensive guys making tackles for Turner in this game, but that won't be the case when we move into actual games. There was a flag on that, and it's a hold against Spring Hill. So
get a chance to see why that was a big hole. Maybe it was the holding penalty that bring that one back. But you're talking about the spread. You're talking about Spring Hill and the way they're going to get you open. When you're undersized, that's one of the approaches coaches will take. The other approach sometimes they'll take is put it in a phone booth when you're really small and just try to push it forward 2 or 3 yards at a time. That's different here. They're going to spread you out, try to find lanes, try to find angles, get you inside of defenders, or just like you saw there, find that little gap there if you get a good block up front on the zone and get a few yards, and that's exactly what they've done here.
And Corbin Myers, a guy that can sling it. He threw for 1,000 yards last season, completed 53% of his passes, 7 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. That they'd like to see obviously go more higher on the touchdowns, lower on the interceptions, but a chance to a lot more experience coming back. And I know Coach Feeback is excited about the possibilities with Corbin Myers as the quarterback this year and improving on those numbers from a season ago in his junior season, now a senior, 6'1", 190-pound quarterback. He's in the pistol there with, again, Barker lined up behind him. Going to air it out again. Got a man down the right side behind the defense for another touchdown for Spring Hill. Nice ball again by Myers as he finds Gage Klutz for that touchdown.
Yeah, that was a really good ball down the field and right over the top of the outstretched arms of the defender. If he was maybe a step better, he might have been in a great position to pick that ball off, but putting it right over the top of him, right in the breadbasket. And, hey, you were talking about interceptions to touchdowns ratio so far, not too bad in this scrimmage.
That's 2 to none.
2-0. It's a good average.
And you know what? We've been just chatting it up here, and I've not really tallied how many plays we've got, so I don't know how many we've got left here.
That's for somebody else to keep
Spring
track
Hill,
of.
but yeah, that's not our responsibility. We'll let them play all night. This defense for KC Turner, last year they allowed 52 points per game, and they have just 2 starters returning from that group. Nice play there, though, as Barker is cut down in the backfield. Old 75 for KC Turner. Again, I apologize, but I don't have a roster
driving you nuts, isn't it?
But it is. It's as a play-by-play guy, you can't even imagine how it's like I've got the heebie-jeebies sitting here in the studio or in the broadcast booth up here, not able to do the full job. But that's right. This is preseason. Practice. Good opportunity for not only these teams, these officials, the PA, the cheerleaders. Heck, they're out here getting it in. We're out here getting a broadcast in. So good opportunity for everybody on that front. Myers again to throw. Wide open man. Hooked up at the 35-yard line. Makes a couple of guys miss. Ooh, stays on the feet. Nice down the sideline inside the 10. Look at him go. Nice run after the catch by Daniel Mitchell, one of their starting wide receivers. But we have some more laundry on the field. That doesn't take away from the run after the catch, though, necessarily. It will, in theory, take it away. But that was some nice moves there by old Mitchell after the catch.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what that could be that far down the field. But I believe it's still going to be it's an offensive or it's a personal foul. And
they called. Well, I guess targeting would be up here. I don't know.
That's new to me as well.
But it's against KC Turner, so it won't wipe out the nice run after the catch by Daniel Mitchell.
Something new this year as well, in addition to this Jamboree, and they're not doing it tonight, but they probably should practice it. I'm sure they are in practices. Is the play clock, and so they're going back to they're going to college rules play clock, which means as soon as the play's done, a 40-second clock starts. And they've got to play the next play at that point. Instead of back in the old day, the ball would get set, and then they would start the play clock. Now, as soon as the ball comes to a stop, the play clock begins, and it's 40 seconds to get the next play. I remember when college switched to this, it was messy because probably that first game, probably 7 or 8 delayed games on each team, and so that would be something to watch for.
Spring Hill staying in the spread. This time they went 3 wide to the right and run that way with Barker. And again, showing that elusiveness as Zayd Barker picks his way all the way down to the 11-yard line. That play started back at the 35, a 24-yard run there off the right side for Barker.
Good contact initially by Turner, but Barker, one of those guys, just frustrating because there's just nothing to tackle.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets so low and so compact that there's nothing for you to grab a hold of, and he just kind of bounces off people. He did it several times down the field.
I mentioned earlier I didn't get into the numbers behind it, but not a big guy, but a workhorse back. I mean, he had 39 carries in a game against Piper last year, 33 carries against Ottawa. In their playoff game last year, had 28 carries against Pittsburgh. I mean, he's a guy that they are not afraid to tote the football with. He's, again, the deep back behind Myers. This time they send 3 receivers left. Quick screen out to the left side to a wide-open Knowlton again, and he is in for another touchdown. That's the second time that Knowlton has caught a touchdown pass. This one a little bit different, a little swing out to him as opposed to down the seam, but good blocking down the field there by his fellow receivers on that left side.
What's exciting, too, for Coach on the offensive side, and I think they're done, is on this particular session is they got to run several different plays. You didn't see the same play over. I'm not sure we saw the same play twice. Yeah. Some running, some passing, some short passing game, which is an extension of your running game, and I thought that was pretty successful for the Broncos in that first time out.
I would say very successful for that offense. You're right. I mean, that's a tally of 4 touchdowns in 9 plays. I feel like for some reason it felt like that was more than 9 plays, but maybe they weren't counting the penalty plays. According to what I've got, it says that all penalties result in a loss of the play, but perhaps they were I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll keep a tally here. As Leavenworth offense now on the field. The Pioneers, a 1-8 team last year, and they will be up against the Spring Hill defense. And this is a unit as they make a quick tackle on really the workhorse for Leavenworth, Jahan Bird. 112 carries last season.
Tackle made in there by Jackson. Can you take a run at that one?
Rounds on, I was told. Rounds on, 6'3", 180-pound senior linebacker, one of their returning starters. And again, I don't have a full roster for Leavenworth, so I apologize. This is not the quality of game call you'll have when the regular season gets underway.
Well, southpaw quarterback, though, got that ball, nearly lost it as he was trying to grasp it. I can tell you what, I don't know his name either, but number 3 down here, wide receiver, he's going to be to the far side now. Looks like a guy that can play a little bit.
Well, Devin Whitworth is their leading receiver last year, 23 catches, 371 yards, and the old roster had him as 7. He's wearing 3. I don't know if that's him or not, but he looks, as you mentioned, he's got the frame for a pretty nice target for, I believe, Javon Darthard as their quarterback. But here's their guy, Bird, who takes this toss, and he's swung down on the outside by Hunter Williard, another one of the returning starters for this Broncos defense, which is a unit that I think, as much as excitement they have with their offense, I think this defensive unit is what Jason Feeback, who also happens to be the defensive coordinator for this Broncos team, is really excited about. They bring 6 guys back, 6 starters back, and they held their own last year, almost a top 10 scoring defense in Class 4A last year, just outside of the top 10. So I think this is the unit that he's really excited to watch. A lot of the same look offensively. Leavenworth runs at Spring Hill and getting some pressure on Darthard this time. Pushed out of bounds on the near sideline by Aaron Dominic. Dominic, a senior defensive lineman for Spring Hill.
I'll tell you what, I mentioned it on offense, how they're going to take advantage of their speed. Defensively, they kind of have the same thing. They're not going to be overly big. They're not going to overwhelm you up front defensively. But I saw it on 2 plays ago when they had an opening on the outside. They ran that little option play, and it looked like it was going to be wide open. They tracked him down all the way to the sideline, able to run him out there with a minimal gain. And so that's certainly something that the Broncos are going to rely on, is that fast speed.
Darthard gives to Jahan Bird again. And there's a bounce out to the right side and gone. There's some speed from Bird. And it looked like Brady Larson, the safety, number 12, you watched there for Spring Hill. He came flying downhill, but because of that, there was really no second level. Once Bird broke outside, the defensive backs, they were all crashing down hard on that run fit, but left a nice little hole for Bird on the bounce out.
That play will be watched no fewer than 9 times in film study because there were some breakdowns there. One was just not being able to wrap up a tackle at the point of attack, and so that's one of those that will be rewound a few times to make sure that everybody's on the same page when the next time they see a play like that.
And honestly, you'd love for everything to go picture perfect, but there's a part of Coach Feeback and this whole staff who is probably sitting there going, okay, that's okay. Now we've got something to go back and teach and watch. I mean, if everything went just perfectly smooth and the opposing offenses never moved the ball a yard, either A, you're really good defensively, or B, they just didn't give you a very good look. So this is what the preseason's for. What these jamborees are for, able to get some looks, put some stuff on film, go back and clean it up. Because as you mentioned, the season starts for real next Friday night, and it's a tough one with Lewisburg coming to town, a 10-1 team from a year ago. Back to the 40, they'll run, I believe, play number 6. Spring Hill able to swarm to the football quick after that connection for about 9 yards. First guy there looked like Larson again for Spring Hill. Got some help as well from Jacob Stovall, one of their linebackers.
Coach said they switched to the black helmets. I think he said yellow was a year ago, and he likes the black. I do too. That's a pretty sharp look. I don't know if they've got their stickers on yet, but that's usually something you do week 1, going into that week 1 game. Got to
have them nice and pretty for that first one. Bird making men miss. Spring Hill rallies to the football. Stovall there make this tackle at the 28-yard line. It'll help as well coming in from that secondary. One of their returning starters as well, Dom Shearer in that secondary. 3 guys from their secondary return for Spring Hill on the defensive side. Williard, Cody Powell, and Dom Shearer. You've got a defensive lineman, Carson Downs, linebacker Jackson Rounds returning as well. I believe play 7 here for Leavenworth's offense. And they go option, ball's on the turf, and they're just going to go ahead and rule that one incomplete.
It was forward. That's one of those safety ones where you're going to run that option. If you're behind the line of scrimmage and you kick that ball and it goes forward, it's a forward pass and it's incomplete. That way, if they don't get it, I don't think that's how that was drawn up to be done, but that's how it ended up being done. If it goes backwards, that's another story. That would have gone the other way perhaps, but it didn't matter on that one. The Broncos had strung that out just really well.
Well, and my math was either off or Leavenworth decided that 7 was enough, but that looks like that's it for the session. Again, 9 plays per session, and this means that Spring Hill will be off the field now. It'll be Turner's offense against Leavenworth's defense, so we'll go ahead and take a chance to take a break from that. The JV offenses and defenses are also in action there on the south end of the field, so we'll let you get a look down there as we take the break, but that's the JV squad going on right now, so they're going on simultaneously. We're focused down here on the north end zone with the varsity guys in a very successful start for the offense and really for the defense. One breakdown play, but again, put something on film and get a chance to go back and correct it. Well, we're going to take a break and we'll come back. We've got plenty more to come tonight. 3 more sessions of what you just saw. We'll do that 3 times over again with the offense and defense for Spring Hill out there against Turner's offense, Leavenworth's defense. They'll flip-flop them back. They're going to get to see each squad, if you will, twice. So they'll have 18 plays against both Leavenworth's offense and defense, and the same with Turner's offense and defense. Just getting started tonight from Spring Hill High School. More from the Jamboree coming up right after this on Spring Hill Sports Live.
A great collision on the field? Awesome. An awesome collision on the road? Not so great. If that bad play does come your way, take your car to Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center. As Kansas City's premier auto collision repair center, they work on all makes and models, even RV, marine, aviation, motorcycles, and more. Shoemaker Collision offers free estimates and loaners, plus they will work with all insurance companies. Get your ride back in the game. Learn more at shoemakercollision.com or call 913-592-0095.
Are you looking for a trusted heating or air conditioning contractor in the Spring Hill area? Look no further than Comfort Designs. Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning has 100% NATE certified technicians who are friendly, knowledgeable, and ready to help. They'll care for your home and complete the job with speed and precision. Locally owned and operated for more than 20 years, Comfort Designs, Spring Hill's heating and air conditioning company. See all they have to offer at comfortdesigns.net or schedule your appointment at 913-592-4453.
When it comes to protecting your family, home, and business, look to a local, community-minded agent. In Spring Hill, that's Allstate agent Libby Clark. With more than 15 years of industry experience, Libby and her team are committed to providing a customized family protection plan that fits your needs. A full-service agency, Libby Clark offers a broad range of insurance and financial services, building relationships with a focus on helping their neighbors. That's the Libby Clark Agency. Visit them on the southeast corner of 223rd and Harrison in Spring Hill. Weitzel Optometry Vision Source has been the leader in optometry services and vision care in Spring Hill for more than 20 years. Weitzel Optometry offers comprehensive eye care, as well as the latest, most popular lenses and frames for Spring Hill and the surrounding communities. Experience modern eye care with advanced diagnostic technology and vision correction products. And with the experience of Doctors Weitzel and Bloodgood, you're sure to see the results you're looking for. To schedule your appointment, call Weitzel Optometry Vision Source at 913-592-2020. This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
And welcome back to Spring Hill High School, Spring Hill Sports Live, SpringHillSportsLive.com, and we are on the preseason Jamboree night for Spring Hill High School, Leavenworth High School, KC Turner High School in town this evening as well. First year of doing these in Kansas, these preseason Jamborees. And it's a chance to get 36 offensive, 36 defensive plays in against the opponents and put some stuff on film, work out some kinks, maybe find some depth, win some position battles perhaps here in this preseason time. And a week from tonight, the season kicks off against Lewisburg for the Spring Hill Broncos, a team that they lost a close one to 21-17 last year. And that was with the start of 10 straight wins for Lewisburg before they fell to Bishop Miege in the 4A quarterfinals. So that's the tough test right out of the gates for Spring Hill this year. They'll come back week 2 then and go on the road for their first road trip down to Ottawa to take on the Cyclones, who went 0-9 last season, a game that Spring Hill won 49-0. So they get a little bit of both ends. If you go by strength of schedule type stuff, they get the top and the bottom from last year in the first 2 weeks out, and we'll see what they're going to get a kind of a good barometer right out of the gates, both ends of it.
Yeah, that's pretty much a microcosm of the Frontier League. I think there's more top than there is bottom in this conference. The top is certainly very good, a couple of wins away from a state title, but the bottom in every conference at this level, kind of this larger small school level, you're going to have that. Now Spring Hill, they're going to have to. They'll be learning a little bit, because I would suspect when the classifications come out for next year, so we're in the second year of a 2-year cycle, that 4A is going to go away, most likely, based on the growth of this district that's just continues to grow. I think it went up another 100 kids district-wide again. That's only based on your high school, but still that growth is just going to keep going. So I'm not sure if that's the case, but I would suspect that might be the way things go next year. So could be their final year playing in the 4A level. But that shouldn't matter with their conference. And again, the Frontier League is just really, really competitive. And I'm really looking forward to getting to learn more about it and to kind of see it in action a little bit.
Spring Hill finished 4th in the league last year, went 4-3 in the league, 4-5 overall. It was Lewisburg 7-0 in the Frontier League, 10-1 overall. Paola finished second at 6-1, and Tonganoxie also at 6-1. Paola won that head-to-head. They finished 9-2, and Tongi finished 7-3. So those were the 3 top-tier teams last year, and most of the preseason projections have those 3 teams looking to be very good again this season. So Spring Hill hoping to mix in there and improve their worth. They again played Lewisburg very tough last year. They played Tonganoxie very tough last year. They lost by 4 against Lewisburg and lost by 6 against Tonganoxie. Didn't have their best outing maybe against Paola, a 35-0 shutout, but this is a team that returns a lot, Spring Hill does, and I guarantee you, Coach Feeback and the boys, they feel like they're just as good as any team in the league a chance to go and compete this year.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see, what he's trying to build here at Spring Hill. And I got a chance to meet the first time I met him, and we're talking. We come out and start just chatting about things. He come up, shows me the press box and everything. And just my first impression meeting him, I'm like, this is a guy I would play for. It's kind of a throwback coach. He loves his players. He talks a lot about brotherhood and playing for one another, and that's what things are built on. That's how programs are built. You go look at, Kansas State's always got that family thing, and every good program kind of has that thing they can lean on a little bit, and it's about more than what's between the lines. Mm-hmm. Occasionally you'll find a team that can catch lightning in a bottle, be really talented on the field, and maybe not be for one another off the field, but that's pretty rare. And so he's doing it from the ground up. And then you look around this campus and see the facilities and see the upgrades to the weight room and this field. It's its second year, I think. the community's bought in, a coaching staff that's bought in, a head coach that's a true leader, and then kids will come. And that's the way it's coming up. And I would not you talked about competing last year. They're going to compete even more this year. And as that program continues to grow, I believe this Spring Hill team is going to be one. If you're buying stock, buy now, because you don't want to wait till it gets too high. Brotherhood,
as you mentioned, a big word in the Coach Feeback run programs, and finishing. They talked a lot about is once guys as finishers, whether that's anything, on-field, off-field, finish plays, finish blocks, finish games, finish as a unit, as a team. And we're going to hear a little bit from Coach Feeback. We had a chance to talk with him a couple of weeks ago down in some preseason. This actually before the actual practices, official practice had even started, and we got a chance to pick his brain a little bit about this upcoming season. So quick break, and then we'll send you to that interview with Coach Jason Feeback, and we'll be back with more live action here from Spring Hill High School tonight. It's the preseason Jamboree. They're going to have a bit of a break after this session that's featuring Leavenworth and Turner right now, and then there'll be a short break, and when we start quarter number 2, if you will, it'll be the Turner offense against the Spring Hill defense to start it, and Spring Hill offense will take on the Leavenworth defense. So we'll be back to live action for you when that happens here from a beautiful night. And as you mentioned, beautiful facilities. It's really amazing facilities here at Spring Hill High School. This was the second time I've been up here in the broadcast booth at the field, and I mean, for a high school stadium, for a college stadium, this is nice facilities. And
you and I cut our broadcast chops, both of us, 10 years apart. I'll let you know, but. In western Nebraska and western Kansas, and sometimes you go to small schools, you don't necessarily see digs quite like this. So, yeah, it's pretty nice.
Excited to be here. We'll be back with more live from the Jamboree here on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Are you looking for a trusted heating or air conditioning contractor in the Spring Hill area? Look no further than Comfort Designs. Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning has 100% NATE certified technicians who are friendly, knowledgeable, and ready to help. They'll care for your home and complete the job with speed and precision. Locally owned and operated for more than 20 years, Comfort Designs, Spring Hill's heating and air conditioning company. See all they have to offer at comfortdesigns.net or schedule your appointment at 913-592-4453.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
All right, welcome to Spring Hill Sports Live. I'm Bryce Kessler as we get set to kick off a new football season. I've got Spring Hill head football coach Jason Feeback with me. Coach, how are you?
It's great to be here. Thanks for coming up.
You guys obviously going to get excited here as this season starts rolling up. How's the off season been for you?
We had a great summer. Went to a lot of camps. Had a lot of competition. Guys are getting after. We got a lot better this summer, so we're really excited for the guys we got coming up. Some guys have fought hard for some positions, and we'll see what happens when the pads come on.
Coming off of a playoff season a year ago, you bring quite a bit back from that group as well. How have you seen that energy kind of translate from that season into this offseason and ready for the next?
We have, every time you got a good supporting cast of juniors, when they become the lead role guys, it's not always a guarantee you're going to have some good leadership out of that. And we've seen some of our kids step up big time, and so that's been really fun to watch. It's always good when you're a high school guy to see that growth in your kids. I mean, you're trying to get them through high school and make them good men, and so we're seeing that with our guys, and that's something I take a lot of pride in.
Coach Feeback entering his 5th season here as Spring Hill head coach. So you've seen these guys, a lot of them, from the time they were, junior high guys working their way up. So
absolutely,
you feel like as a program, because I know anytime a head coach comes in, they want to develop their culture and all those buzzwords that we hear.
Mm-hmm.
But you got that now here. So what is that kind of? What defines Coach Feeback's teams?
Our guys play hard. They're accountable. They're going to show up and they're going to do the work. If they're not playing hard, they won't be on the field. But I think that's the main thing. We talk a lot about family and being a brotherhood and having the guys back next to you. And so just loving the guy next to you, I think love's the greatest motivator, more than fear, more than anything else. And when you get guys to play for the next guy, that's when you get something special.
We've got our first season of Bronco football kicking off here on Spring Hill Sports Live this season. So who are some of the guys that we need to be on the lookout for here in the squad?
I'll start with our offense. We got Zay Barker coming back, Corbin Myers. I think those are some of the best guys in the area at their position. Quarterback, running back, 3 linemen coming back. Wide receiver, we got a lot of guys fighting for positions there. We lost Connor Zorn to a knee injury this summer, so we won't have him this season, but he's going to be a GA for us, a little graduate assistant, so he's going to be helping out. He's excited about that. And defensively, we're bringing back 6 guys. We're really excited about what we're able to do on defense. This year, I thought we took some big steps last year. We lost some good players, but we got some good guys coming back that we're starting for 9 games. So,
Haven't started practice officially yet, so I know some of those things, position battles and things like that, will start to work themselves out once you get on the field. But are there a few bullet points that you guys as a coaching staff know that we need to hone in on these few things with this group in this preseason time?
I think just making the guys play hard, hold them accountable, not making those mental mistakes that are going to cost you ball games, finishing plays, finishing blocks, finishing tackles. You got to be a finisher. Everybody wants to be a starter. You got to be a finisher, though.
You open up with Lewisburg in what will be one of many tough games in the Frontier League. You don't get any weeks off.
Every week.
What kind of defines Frontier League football?
It's physical. Everybody plays defense. Everybody's well coached, and there's some athletes. I mean, I don't know how many kids signed college scholarships last year, but we had a couple D1 kids come out of it. There's a couple sitting around here. They're probably gonna sign some D1 stuff. So, that's part of it. That's why I love it. Competition that breeds success. So,
rest of you.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
And welcome back to Spring Hill Sports Live and Spring Hill High School preseason jamboree tonight. I'm Bryce Kessler. BJ Harris stepped out of the booth here momentarily. He'll be back on in a moment. Caden Carbajo running the camera for us tonight as well, and had to cut Coach Feeback off a little bit there from that preseason interview. If you were so enthralled with that interview that you want to hear more, you can go to our YouTube channel or online, springhillsportslive.com. But wanted to bring you back for some more live action on this preseason jamboree night. KC Turner offense on the field against the Spring Hill defense. And again, don't have rosters, don't have all the information. This is a small portion of the broadcast you'll hear during the season as Turner's offense starts with a little pitch, and there's that speed of the Spring Hill defense. Leading the charge was Jacob Stovall. He's been all over the field tonight defensively for Spring Hill. This is their second time for the defense to be on the field. First time, though, facing KC Turner, a team that went 1-8 last season, and to bring back an experienced quarterback in Paul Vogan, a dual threat quarterback. They lean heavily on his rushing abilities, and he's really skill position-wise the go-to and the one guy they bring back. And then they do have 4 offensive linemen starters returning: DeAndre Burton, Joseph Castle, Gabe Martinez, and Juan Chavez, as a penalty flag is thrown by the line judge, and that is an offside penalty and encroachment against the Spring Hill defense. So how things are working here, if you weren't with us for the first session, the Spring Hill defense on the field right now against the Turner offense. They'll go 9 plays, and then in this particular session, the Spring Hill offense will then come on against the Leavenworth defense for 9 plays, and that will be followed by the Leavenworth offense against the Turner defense for 9 plays, and that will be, in essence, the second quarter. And then after a small break, they'll come back out, have another transition of offense versus defense for 9 plays at a time. Overall tonight, every team is going to get 36 offensive plays and 36 defensive plays. There isn't any special teams or kicking of any kind, just offense, defense, but some good preseason work as the real season kicks off a week from tonight for all these teams. For Spring Hill, it's right here at home against Lewisburg, 7 o'clock next Friday night. For Turner, they'll be at home as well, taking on KC Harmon in their season opener. And that was the lone win for Turner last year. They beat Harmon 28-20. That'll be the season opener for the Golden Bears this season. And for Leavenworth, who's not on the field currently, but we'll see here momentarily, the Pioneers open up at home against DeSoto. So that's all next Friday night season openers for these teams. Spring Hill defense, who's on the field right now against this Turner offense, an experienced unit, 6 guys back as returning starters for Jason Feeback. And pass comes in low out to the receiver at the 38-yard line. You don't have the names for this Turner offense, but the coverage for Spring Hill on that play was applied by Cody Powell, one of their returning starters on this defensive unit. Powell, along with Hunter Williard and Dom Shearer in the secondary, returning starters for him. Carson Downs, He's up on the defensive lines, one of their returners, number 41 in purple. He's lined up just left of the football, or I guess right of the offensive side of the football, and in on helping make that tackle along with Jacob Stovall, and he's another guy who's been all over the field. Jackson rounds on, and we've seen him in on multiple plays here this evening as well. And he's one of their returning starters on this defensive unit, number 14 in purple. He's been playing that outside linebacker in this 3-4 scheme up at the left side of the defense currently. Well, last year allowed 22.5 points per game, 13th best in Class 4A. They held Lewisburg to a season-low 21 points last year, and Paola's 35 points, which, I mean, that's still a healthy offensive game for Paola, but that was tied for their fewest points they scored in a win last year. So two of the best teams record-wise and results-wise they faced last year, and they did an excellent job defensively against both of them. And speaking of that returner on the defensive line, Carson Downs, that was Downs right there making the tackle 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage, or 15 yards anyway behind the line of scrimmage. They're going to bring this ball back. With this Jamboree, everything starts from the 40 or in. They won't push him back onto the minus side of midfield and won't run a play from back there. But Downs last year, 41 tackles, a couple of sacks, a couple of quarterback pressures, forced a fumble. Looking for big things out of Downs on this defensive line for Spring Hill High School. 3-4 defensive look against the spread. Two receivers each way, and there's a false start up front for Turner. Not sure which one of their offensive linemen. Again, no roster for Turner, but they do bring 4 starters back on that line. As they go, this offense will go, and you could say that about most teams with the offensive line. The guys who don't get nearly enough credit for the success of an offense don't have the stats per se to show for it individually, but most teams would tell you they're only as good offensively as those guys up front.
I can't tell you how nice it is to hear a former quarterback say that.
Hey, man.
It's pretty rare. You know,
as a quarterback, you got to love a good offensive line. You appreciate the good ones, and you well, I won't tell you what you say about the bad ones. Ooh, big hit right there for Spring Hill. It was a little high-low action with Wyatt Dickey, the returning starter in the linebacking core. Dickey came in and delivered a big blow up top, but with the legs, Logan Greenhall, a senior defensive lineman, he had the quarterback Paul Vogan low, and good news out of this is Vogan is okay. And again, preseason time, well, I mean, for that matter, any time, regular season, preseason, doesn't matter. You never want to see anybody get hurt in a football game, but especially in this preseason time. Get out of these healthy. And good news is Vogan absorbed a big hit, but he's just fine, it looks like. Had to kind of work out the arms a little bit there, kind of catch his breath, but he's still on the field, out of the pistol right now. And they're trying to find out, this offense for Turner, who's going to be their weapons outside of Vogan. The ball is put on the turf again on a big hit by the Spring Hill defense once again. In there was Greenhall, and got some help from Jacob Stovall yet again. So Turner's offense, that is it for them, it looks like. They're exiting the field, so that was the 9 plays. They don't technically have to run all 9 plays. If they want to color after 7, which my math Leavenworth did earlier, but I'm sure I was off. But that looks like that's into that session, so we'll quickly move on now to the next session, which will have the Spring Hill offense taking on the Leavenworth defense. We saw the Spring Hill defense against Leavenworth's offense earlier. Now they'll flip the script here, and the offense for Spring Hill, who started this thing, feels like it was forever ago. They were on the field. They hit a big touchdown on the very first play of the Jamboree. Corbin Myers went down the seam and found a wide open receiver for the touchdown on their very first play. Ended up hooking up twice for touchdowns with Zach Knowlton in their first session. So here's Corbin Myers in the shotgun, or the pistol, with Zayd Barker behind him. 4 receivers, 2 on each side. Little read option look, and Myers pulls and keeps, but the defender there not fooled for Leavenworth, makes the tackle a yard behind the line of scrimmage.
For what it's worth, it was a really good read. Actually, he did make the right read and pulled that ball because the guy he was on took the dive back. Just really well played. The next guy was there to take care of the quarterback. Well defended.
The option is great because you're assuming that somebody's probably either going to try to cheat their assignment a little bit or completely fail their assignment, but as a defense, if they all do a perfect assignment, then you can read it, as you said, right, and there's just nowhere to go. It was a good play made by old 28. You don't have their roster, but nice play for him. Myers this time will give it straight handoff to Barker, who lowers the shoulder pads, tries to bowl through the defender at the 33-yard line, and Barker down there to make about a 13-yard run. Wyatt George and Austin Benedict were both on that side. Those are 2 returning starters for this team, and 3 guys return to the offensive line as starters, and they help pave the way right there.
Yeah, Wyatt George down the field, 6'1", 230, down the field, making a block. Running backs love to see that, and linemen love nothing more than to be 10 yards downfield and have that running back cut off your block, and that's what he was working to do downfield.
Goes right into what you heard. Hopefully you heard. I had to cut Coach Feeback's preseason interview short to get back to the live action, but he talked about it. If you didn't hear it before I had to cut it off, finishing plays, finishing blocks, and that's exactly what you were talking with Wyatt George doing there.
Here, another thing, too, is I think, Coach, in that first drive, we saw them go to the air quite a bit. This drive seems to be more focused on the ground game and trying to make sure you establish that. Again, this is a practice. In a game, you're going to do what's working,
right,
and you're going to do what you need to do to win the game. In this situation, they're just trying to get as many plays in and try different stuff to see what's going to work for their personnel.
A lot of Myers, a lot of Barker. Those 2 guys, the quarterback-running back tandem, accounted for nearly 2,000 yards and 18 touchdowns last year, as Myers that time a little bit tall on the intended pass for Daniel Mitchell. But those 2 guys, they are, from the backs and receivers standpoint, the guys that will be carrying the brunt of the load for the Spring Hill offense. They've got to try to find some receiving options. They lost a lot as far as the receiving core goes that we've seen from Knowlton tonight. Mitchell, the intended target on that one, and who's going to kind of step up and fill the void there as Myers' top targets, and that will go a long ways to determining the success in the long haul here in this 2019 season of the offense. They know who's getting the ball out of the backfield in the running game. It's that man right there. Zayd Barker bounces it outside right, little counter up the middle, and he takes it down to the 23-yard line for the Spring Hill offense. They are using the chains. Things will reset back to the 40 on what would be, in essence, the turnover on downs or the 3-and-outs. And in this, we have a 3rd down. So, again, situational chances for Jason Feeback and his coaching staff here to just outside of the red zone. You got a 3rd down and 4. Work on some play calls, what might work in these scenarios, and they're going to go to the air to try to convert this one. Myers behind the intended receiver who tried to make a nice catch, Gage Klutz, who did have a touchdown reception in their first session of the night. Couldn't quite paw that one with one hand. That would have been a highlight reel catch. Myers just a little bit behind his tight end Klutz there on that pass. It'll bring up the 4th down, and they're going to go ahead and run the 4th down play. Why not? Mm-hmm. There are no special teams, so if you're sitting there going, man, let's bring out the kicker. Let's let Bear Gardner, successful kicker for Spring Hill, let's let him get a practice in. Unfortunately, the Kansas State High School Activity Association doesn't like kickers, apparently, because they won't let them practice tonight.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that in the rules. I can see why you're not doing kickoff, punt return, stuff like that. Those are high injury plays, but going out and kicking some field goals is probably not a bad idea. Although he was in practice, you and I were both here last Saturday, and he was taking some cracks at him. Knocked one through easily from 35. Took a crack at 45 or 40, I think, made one, and then took a crack at 45. Just came up a little bit short. So the kicking game, hopefully, certainly a strong part for Spring Hill this year.
And that's a weapon. I mean, not every high school team can feel confident about sending a guy out there to attempt a 40-plus yard field goal, and that is a whole other element that a lot of teams would be jealous of, and Spring Hill certainly has it with senior kicker Bear Gardner. That's Barker again. I've talked about him being a workhorse-type guy. He's getting that workhorse action in this second offensive session for Spring Hill. He had multiple games last year with over 30 carries. Not a huge guy, 5'8", 170 pounds. An experienced guy, though, a senior, very elusive, tough to tackle, and that's probably part of the reason he can take the rock so many times. He never really gets a solid hit on him. Everything is just kind of bouncing off the hip and kind of dragging him down a little bit to the side. He doesn't get squared up very often and stays fresh. That pass batted down out in the right flag. Good play by old 23 for Leavenworth as Myers was looking on that little slant flat combo out there and could not hook up with Cody Powell. Third down. Here's another good scenario play. Third down and 8, 13-yard line, deep inside the red zone here. These are the plays. These are the money plays. I mean, this is the difference in winning ball games and losing ball games. Can you execute down in the red zone? And we're not even going to get a chance. I set it up to figure it out because that was the ninth play for Spring Hill's offense. So no wiggle room here. 9 and you're done. I don't care that you had a chance to work on a 3rd and 8 from the 13. Not happening.
And they were not considering the fact that you'd set it up.
I know.
As well.
I mean, I was looking forward to it. Great night, beautiful night both weather-wise, a great turnout. Even the student section. I've never been to a Spring Hill High School football game. This will be my first coming up next Friday. So I don't know what the typical is, but I'll guarantee you this. Every school for their Jamboree does not have a student section that's, 20 rows deep, jam-packed over there. That's cool to see. The community is out here supporting these young men tonight. KC Turner and Leavenworth both in town for this preseason Jamboree. We're going to take another quick little break here as they're switching sessions. This will be Leavenworth's offense against Turner's defense coming onto the field. And then after they finish their 9 plays, there'll be another short little break, and Spring Hill will be back on the field for some more live action here on preseason Jamboree night. 1 week from the kickoff of the regular season. It'll be right here at Spring Hill High School next Friday night and right here on Spring Hill Sports Live when Spring Hill hosts Lewisburg. We'll bring that game live to you next Friday night. More Jamboree action coming up. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening and watching Spring Hill Bronco football from the preseason Jamboree live on Spring Hill Sports Live.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live. Your home for Bronco football is Spring Hill Sports Live. The Broncos kick off the 2019 season this Friday night as they welcome in the Lewisburg Wildcats. Our pregame coverage begins at 6:30, kickoff at 7. Catch every second of the action all season long at SpringHillSportsLive.com. It's the Broncos and the Wildcats this Friday night on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Are you looking for a trusted heating or air conditioning contractor in the Spring Hill area? Look no further than Comfort Designs. Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning has 100% NATE certified technicians who are friendly, knowledgeable, and ready to help. They'll care for your home and complete the job with speed and precision. Locally owned and operated for more than 20 years. Comfort Designs, Spring Hill's heating and air conditioning company. See all they have to offer at comfortdesigns.net or schedule your appointment at 913-592-4453.
Spring Hill Bronco football live on Spring Hill Sports Live tonight from Spring Hill High School. It's a beautiful evening for preseason Jamboree action, and we'll have more live Jamboree action coming up momentarily here with Leavenworth and KC Turner on the field right now. But just behind us in what is really an amazing setup here at Spring Hill High School, we got the football field on the east side of the grandstands, and then just on the west side of it, in fact, the press box, I just got to go out this door and into the door on the other side, and we're right there at the soccer stadium. So awesome setup here at Spring Hill High School. And the Spring Hill soccer team, their season opener going on as we speak behind us against Piper. And earlier tonight, before that all got started, when we got here this evening, I caught up with Eric Schwartz, the head coach of Spring Hill High School soccer, and got a chance to get some preseason thoughts right before their season opener. So we'll let you enjoy that interview with Coach Schwartz, and then we'll be back with more live action from the Jamboree right after this on Spring Hill Sports Live. Welcome back to Spring Hill Sports Live, SpringHillSportsLive.com. I'm with the head coach of Spring Hill Soccer, Eric Schwartz. And, Coach, you got your season opener coming up here just behind us here momentarily. What's the general feel for the team this year coming into the season?
We're excited. We lost some big players last year, but we have guys that are going to step in and play big-time minutes. We're returning a lot of midfield, returning a lot of attackers. First team all-league goalie last year is coming back as a junior, so we're excited for it.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about your goalie there. A great season last year as an underclassman last year. Now he's a junior coming into this season. What kind of things are you expecting from him as far as that next step? Already a good one to take that next step.
He stepped up huge from his sophomore to junior year, and that's scary since he was first team all-league. We just announced that he's one of our team captains this year, so the leadership's there. He's talking. We have some new defenders that he's been talking through and helping out a lot. So he's gonna make a big difference this year.
Who else are some of the players that we'll have our eyes on this year is going to be key to your success?
We'll start with our other two captains. Jackson Rainforth in the middle. He's coming back as a junior. He controls the middle real well. Josh Santos, he kind of goes from a forward to an attacking mid, and he's going to be our other captain. We're bringing back starters from outside mids, from defenders. I mean, we're talented everywhere, so we're excited. I'm just ready to get out there. We've had all this preseason. Now we actually get to play another team.
Well, and you get to play Piper as well in this opener, which last year I know they were a really good team. You guys obviously a really good team as well. Played them well in the season opener. Lost that one, so I'm sure the guys are a little anxious to get back out here tonight.
We had a lot of new guys last year, so playing them, a really good team to start off our season, we had to shake off some nerves. But then we got settled down as the game went on. I'm not expecting that this year. We got great leadership. We're experienced, so hopefully we're gonna come out strong tonight.
Well, it sounds like expectations are pretty high from you, and I'm sure the guys themselves for this season. We've talked about the personnel as an overall unit, overall team. What are some of those keys, bullet points that will be musts for you guys to have the success that you plan to hope to have?
If we keep just working our tails off, this is the hardest working team I've ever had to coach. I have leadership everywhere. If we can keep that going through the entire 3-month season, I got a feeling we're going to be pretty good.
All right, well, we're looking forward to watching the success of the Spring Hill soccer team there. Season opener right here behind us, getting ready to get underway tonight against Piper. Coach Eric Schwartz, hey, Coach, appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Good luck on the rest of the season.
All right, thank you.
That's Eric Schwartz, the head coach of the Spring Hill Broncos soccer team here on Spring Hill Sports Live.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live. When it comes to protecting your family, home, and business, look to a local, community-minded agent. In Spring Hill, that's Allstate agent Libby Clark. With more than 15 years of industry experience, Libby and her team are committed to providing a customized family protection plan that fits your needs. A full-service agency, Libby Clark offers a broad range of insurance and financial services, building relationships with a focus on helping their neighbors. That's the Libby Clark Agency. Visit them on the southeast corner of 223rd and Harrison in Spring Hill.
Are you looking for a trusted heating or air conditioning contractor in the Spring Hill area? Look no further than Comfort Designs. Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning has 100% NATE certified technicians who are friendly, knowledgeable, and ready to help. They'll care for your home and complete the job with speed and precision. Locally owned and operated for more than 20 years, Comfort Designs, Spring Hill's heating and air conditioning company. See all they have to offer at comfortdesigns.net or schedule your appointment at 913-592-4453.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Preseason Jamboree action live from Spring Hill High School tonight on Spring Hill Sports Live. I'm Bryce Kessler, and along with Caden Cabajo and BJ Harris, it's the first opportunity for these teams to take the field against another color jersey, and the season will kick off for real next Friday night for Spring Hill High School. That means Lewisburg is coming to town, and we've got more live action for Spring Hill High School coming up. Their offense and defense still has 18 plays to go in a couple of different sessions, so we'll get to that. The JV squads are on the south end. You can kind of see those in the camera shot there happening right now. That's Turner and Leavenworth on the field. You just heard from Eric Schwartz, the head coach of Spring Hill Soccer, and good news to report on the Broncos soccer squad. They've got a 4-0 lead with about 7 minutes left in the second half of their season opener against Piper, a team that they lost to last season, and that Piper team went on to win the league last year in the very tough Frontier League. So that's, I think, I know that's what Coach Schwartz was looking forward to doing tonight, is going out there and playing some good soccer and getting a win. And I guess you can't guarantee anything. There's still about 7 minutes left. I can't see the scoreboard from here, but we'll check it again next time we get a little break here and see how things ended up out there. But they were up 4-0, Spring Hill was, with about 7 minutes left in the second half. And I'm not a a encyclopedia when it comes to soccer, but a 4-goal lead with 7 minutes to go. I feel like that's pretty good territory. So we'll see if Coach Swartz and the guys can close that one out and pick up a win on opening night for them. It's Jamboree night for the Spring Hill Bronco football team, and they're in the middle of their little 5-minute break right now. And on the other side of this, the Spring Hill offense will be back on the field to take on the Turner defense, and then the Bronco defense will take the field to face the Leavenworth offense in what will be their third quarter, if you will, of action. And then they'll have another quick little break and finish things off in the fourth quarter with their defense against the Turner offense and the Bronco offense against the Leavenworth defense to wrap up what is the first Jamboree night across Kansas. Some teams playing their Jamboree tomorrow night. Now, it has to be either tonight or tomorrow. The only 2 days that KC is allowing these Jamborees to be played, but it's a new thing, and I have a feeling it's going to be very well received by the programs. The fans have clearly received it well tonight. Great turnout here at Spring Hill on this home side of the bleachers. They have a lot of fans hanging out watching some preseason football in the preseason Jamboree tonight. Coming up, upcoming schedule. Let's take a look at that for you here on Spring Hill Sports Live. This is the fall sports broadcast schedule. We've got all the football games for you, starting with next Friday night against Lewisburg. Then week 2 on the 13th, they'll be on the road at Ottawa. Our first volleyball action will come your way on the 19th. That's a Thursday. It's a home volleyball triangular against Blue Valley Southwest and Bonner Springs. So we'll have that for you here live on Spring Hill Sports Live. Back onto the gridiron the next night. Home game against Bonner Springs for the Broncos. Then it's at Paola in week 4. Home against DeSoto for homecoming on October 4th. And then some more volleyball the day after that. The Spring Hill tournament on that Saturday, October 5th. We'll have that coverage for you live on Spring Hill Sports Live. Football goes on the road, back-to-back weeks on the road at Tonganoxie and at Piper, as you see on the 11th and the 18th. Then we've got Coach Swartz and the guys live on Spring Hill Sports Live on the 24th. They'll be hosting DeSoto here at Spring Hill High for that soccer match. We'll carry it live for you. Next night is senior night for the Bronco football team, and they will welcome the Baldwin Bulldogs to town for that one. That will hopefully not wrap up our fall broadcast sports schedule. You see there that first round playoff action November 1st, and who knows, hopefully a little volleyball or soccer postseason action perhaps as well, and we'll hope for it, but of course can't necessarily plan on those broadcasts yet, but we're going to be there if they're there. So that's you look at your fall sports broadcast schedule here at SpringHillSportsLive.com. You can follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, our YouTube channel as well. Subscribe to that so you'll never miss a game. You'll get an alert anytime we go live with a new broadcast, so you won't ever miss out on a chance to watch your Broncos in action here in this 2019 sports season. More live Jamboree action coming up momentarily. You're watching Spring Hill Sports Live, the preseason football Jamboree on SpringHillSportsLive.com.
A great collision on the field? Awesome. An awesome collision on the road? Not so great. If that bad play does come your way, take your car to Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center. As Kansas City's premier auto collision repair center, they work on all makes and models, even RV, marine, aviation, motorcycles, and more. Shoemaker Collision offers free estimates and loaners, plus they will work with all insurance companies. Get your ride back in the game. Learn more at shoemakercollision.com or call 913-592-0095.
Your home for Bronco football is Spring Hill Sports Live. The Broncos kick off the 2019 season this Friday night as they welcome in the Lewisburg Wildcats. Our pregame coverage begins at 6:30, kickoff at 7. Catch every second of the action all season long at SpringHillSportsLive.com. It's the Broncos and the Wildcats this Friday night on Spring Hill Sports Live. This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Back live at Spring Hill High School, the preseason Jamboree tonight, and we are headed into the third quarter, if you will, of action. And in this series, it looks like they've actually switched this around. I believe it's supposed to be the Turner defense against the Spring Hill offense. And it is the Bronco offense that's in the huddle down here, but it's the Turner offense who's already out on the field. So I don't know that offense versus offense will work out very well. That will get a little awkward. So we'll see which team's going to budge. And, the Spring Hill offense coming onto the field. Turner's offense remaining on the field. So, we'll see. It's night number one for everybody. Us, the teams, the officials, game clock operators. Of course, the game clock is not being used in this case. Play clock is. And BJ mentioned earlier the change in the play clock rules this year. And now Turner's offense finally has resigned to the conclusion that, we're not allowed on. So they'll go off. The Turner defense will head on. Turner's offense is going to get their chance again in this third quarter after 18 plays. It'll be 9 for the Spring Hill offense, then 9 for the Leavenworth offense against the Spring Hill defense. First year they've had these preseason jamborees. And for Spring Hill, their offense has clicked nicely so far in their first two chances. This time around, they've got the second unit in there offensively. Evan Letelier, and I apologize on that one. I didn't get his name prior, so if I mispronounced that one, Letelier, I'm going to go with for now. I guarantee you I'll have it correct if that's not by next week when we kick off the season, as we're scrambling to get all of our ducks in a row as well. Don't have rosters for either Leavenworth or KC Turner for this preseason jamboree. So a little bit of a generic call for you tonight. Just kind of get familiarized with us here at Spring Hill Sports Live and with the teams here as they're working out their wrinkles for this new 2019 season, as are we. There was a penalty flag on that first play for the Spring Hill offense. So a hold against the Bronco offense will bring it back to, it says they're supposed to just stay at the 40, but they're going to go ahead and march them back to midfield and beyond. So I don't know, are they actually going to run the play from back here? They're not. That's all right. So again, the second unit on the field right now for the Spring Hill offense. Corbin Myers, their starting quarterback, hooked up for a couple of touchdowns in their first two sessions. Missed on a couple of chances down the field as well. Zay Barker looked really good, really elusive as is his M.O. And here's a nice run for Spring Hill, able to keep his balance in the backfield. And Dylan Lazenby is all the way down inside the 10-yard line. A flag comes in for what looked like a horse collar tackle on the end of that. Luckily, Lazenby is able to hop up healthy. That could be a dangerous play on a tackle like that, which is the reason why they flag him. But that was a nice run there. Lazenby burst through that hole and showed some speed down inside the 10-yard line. A chance to work on a little red zone offense for Spring Hill. The quarterback in there again, Letelier, a junior, 6'1", 175 pounds. The backup to Corbin Myers, who threw for over 1,000 yards last season. And you got to have depth, as every football coach will tell you. So here's a good opportunity to try to figure out some of that depth for Jason Feeback and his squad. Coach Feeback entering his 5th season as the head coach of the Broncos. 13-23 overall record here at Spring Hill High School. A 25-31 career head coaching record, as he also spent 2 years as the head man at Chanute High School. We'll tell you out of the pistol with Lazenby, the deep back behind him. He gets the handoff, and Lazenby finds pay dirt for Spring Hill. The offense continues to hum here for the Broncos on this preseason jamboree night. And that was some heavy lifting done by Dylan Lazenby, 5'8", 160-pound sophomore running back. Very much in the same mold as Zayd Barker. Only a sophomore, 2 years younger than Barker, hasn't quite filled out like his senior running mate in that backfield, but the style we saw there from Lazenby, very reminiscent of the guy he is looking up to and watching throughout the practice with Zayd Barker, who's on the sideline right now with the rest of the starting offense for Spring Hill. Chatting about their night here on this near sideline on a beautiful night for, in this case, preseason football. So they'll move it back to the 40 and they'll restart. Each team gets 9 plays, regardless of how far you move it or how many times you score or how many times you go 3 and out. Letellier airs it out down the near sideline, trying to make a tiptoe catch on the sideline was Powell, but Cody Powell could not quite haul that one in. I'm not sure he would have had the go-go gadget arms in order to make the catch anyway and keep his feet in bounds, but a great effort nonetheless. One more opportunity after this one for the offense for Spring Hill to take the field. We'll see if they go with the second unit defensively. My guess is they will, following these 9 plays for the offense. Their defense for Spring Hill will be back on the field to take on Leavenworth. Same pistol set we've seen most of the night for Spring Hill in the spread offense. 4 wide receivers, 2 on each side. Nice read by Letellier. The option on that time, he pulled it out of the belly of Lazenby and burst down the seam for a touchdown run of 40 yards. Great read by Letellier right there. The junior quarterback made a perfect call to pull it and then did the rest right up the hash marks. Nice looking run there for another Spring Hill touchdown. The offense returns a few starters on that offensive line on the first unit. Austin Benedict, Wyatt George, and Denver Gardner. This is the second unit all in there right now. And they've opened up a couple of nice holes for the rushing attack so far with this second group on the field. Lazenby, he's the D-back out of the pistol behind Letellier. Looks to throw this time. Good pocket there as Letellier airs it out down the right hash marks. And it is incomplete down near the goal line. There was a penalty flag thrown. The intended receiver for Letellier that time looked like Cameron Crotchett, perhaps. Good pocket to throw from right there for Letellier. This is a team that runs the spread but not afraid to run the football out of the spread. And we've seen them kind of go pass heavy the first time the offense was on the field, run heavy the second time with the starting units both time. Now with the second unit in there, they've mixed it up a little bit more this time. But have had some success nonetheless against a Turner defense that I don't know for them. Again, I don't have 2 deeps for these opponents for this preseason night. So I don't know if this is second unit. I would guess primarily second team guys on the field right now for the Turner defense. But, you know, some of these guys are probably still fighting for spots on the starting unit for Turner as they only returned 2 starters from last year's defense. New back in there for Spring Hill on the carry this time down to the 31-yard line. Nice run by Matthew Scoma, junior running back. Turner gave up 52 points per game last season. Returns 2 guys and a lot of new roles to be had. So these second unit players for KC Turner. Julian Parks, the head coach of the Golden Bears. He is standing back at about the 5-yard line. Coaches are allowed on the field. We haven't really seen much coaching on the field from any of these teams. Saw a little bit there, one of the assistant coaches for Turner discussing some stuff with his secondary. But Coach Parks, he's sitting back behind it all, evaluating his second unit guys as that play is blown up in the backfield. Good play by Mr. number 98. Don't have the roster for Turner. But there was a flag. There was a hit on the quarterback, Letellier, and that's what they're going to flag for a personal foul here against KC Turner. And certainly in a preseason situation, don't need any unnecessary roughness, and perhaps even in the regular season that would have drawn the laundry. So a chance here for a little red zone work for the second team. They'll have it at the 17-yard line, and Julian Parks, the head coach for Turner, you can kind of see on the edge of your screen there, chatting with the head referee about that call and the motion the referee gave. You can see saying how he slammed the quarterback unnecessarily into the turf, and that's what drew the flag out of him. 3 receivers right. 1 comes left for Spring Hill. Letellier flips it outright, but over the head of the receiver, Corian Duff. We saw him run a very similar look, opposite way, for a touchdown with the first team. And some great blocking downfield by the receivers. That time, though, they couldn't hook up on the catch. That was the final play in this go-round for the Spring Hill offense. So they have hit their 9-play cap. And they will flip things around now, bring the defense out onto the field. So the Spring Hill defense will take on the Leavenworth offense. We saw this matchup right out of the gates in the first quarter of action tonight. And Spring Hill, this time around, going to send primarily second-team guys onto the field. So a chance to watch some of the depth here. And on the other side for Leavenworth, again, not knowing the full depth chart for the Pioneers, Dart Hard, who is apparently going to win that quarterback job if there was even a competition, because he was in for their first series. He's in there still. A guy replacing McKinley, their quarterback from last year. And no Jahan Bird, it doesn't look like this time, their top running back. And really the focal point of their offense this year for the Pioneers will be Bird. He is wearing number 2 for Leavenworth, but he is not out there on this session. Spring Hill defense, 3-4 scheme. Jason Feeback, the head coach of Spring Hill, also calls the defense, the head coach and defensive coordinator for the Broncos. And his guys been flying around tonight. They have shown great team speed on this defense. And really the one play is, they make a nice team effort to make the stop there and shut down the ball carrier. But the one time they were gashed really tonight was by Bird back in that first session. And it wasn't because of a lack of flowing to the football. It was almost one of those, they kind of lost a little maybe of their assignment integrity and came crashing too hard from the secondary, and there was no second level, and Bird bounced one out and took it to the house on him. That's really the only big play we've seen happen against this Spring Hill defense. Everything else has been pretty much what you saw right there. A couple of yards and the proverbial cloud of dust, although anymore at these nice turf fields, you don't get the cloud of dust anymore. Maybe a little cloud of black rubber pellets that jump up at you, but not going to get any muddy jerseys on this field. Beautiful field here at Spring Hill High School. Beautiful facilities. The soccer team will try to catch a final for you in their game. They were playing just behind us here in the press box. Their season opener against Piper. Spring Hill was up 4-0 with about 7 minutes left in the second half. So good chance they held on and won that one. We'll get a final for you when we get a chance. Nice little option, speed option look. And ball carried down inside the 15 before he's drug out of bounds by Brady Larson. Leavenworth Pioneers 1-8 last season. Their lone win came in week 4 against the other team we've got at our Jamboree tonight, KC Turner. They won that game 83-21. Hung 83 on the Golden Bears. Just 7-30 over the last 4 years for the Pioneers. Got a first-year head coach this season, so there may be, definitely probably will be some changes from the Pioneer program of the last several years. These are teams that Spring Hill won't face in the regular season, and for that matter won't face, period, because both Leavenworth and KC Turner are 5A schools. So if you don't play them in the regular season, obviously you're never going to play them in the postseason. So I would imagine, I did not look at the full slate, I would imagine most teams in these Jamborees are not playing opponents that they have scheduled throughout the regular season. But I can't say that's the case across the board, but certainly it is here tonight. Another nice stop by that linebacking core for Spring Hill. We're very broad and vague tonight for you here on the broadcast without full depth charts, without full rosters in the case, without any rosters in the case of the two opponents tonight. So just getting the feet wet here tonight on Spring Hill Sports Live, given the test broadcast with the test for these teams out here as well, preseason action. It's been a successful night to this point, it would appear. From my vantage point, we'll see if Coach Feeback agrees, but so far it's been a successful night for the Broncos. They've looked pretty good on both sides of the football. Closing in on the end of session number 3 for the Spring Hill defense. Then Spring Hill will take a break, come back one more go-round with this preseason Jamboree for both the offense and the defense before they kick off the season next Friday night against Lewisburg. Tough battle to open up the season. Just 3-20 against the Wildcats since '96. And last year played them tough, but lost a close one, 21-17. A little 4th and 2 action here from the 7-yard line. Spring Hill defense looking for a Nice goal line stand on a quick slant, and it is incomplete. The defender that time able to get the arm around the outside of Whitworth and knock that one down, as Cody Powell, one of their returning starters in the defensive secondary, made the play to deny access to the Leavenworth offense and push them back to the 40 where they'll reset.
Of course, if this was the NFL, we'd have to go back and watch an instant replay of that to make sure it wasn't pass interference. Don't go there?
No, yeah. You know, I've always been a guy that believes in, and I've had bad calls go against me, whether my playing or coaching days, I've had bad calls go for me, that, that's just part of the game. And I think the replay, not to get on a soapbox, but I think it has gone way out of control.
Yeah, statistically, it's all going to work out in the end. You know?
Well, for somebody. It's only going to work out for one.
Truth.
50% are happy and 50% are mad on every call, right or wrong, typically. So
I tell you what, we focused on, obviously on the varsity because that's what we're going to be broadcasting. But I've caught peaks, and I was down on the field a moment ago, and JV looks really good. And I know this is a good young group of kids. I've heard, I went and talked to lots of people getting this thing off the ground, and really excited about the freshman sophomore class on its way up, and so that's always good. Certainly if these older guys seem to be setting a pretty good example, and the JV's had just as successful night as the Broncos have, it seems like.
That's one thing Jason Feeback, head coach at the Broncos, talked about in his preseason chat with us, is you really never know when you get those guys, those juniors, and they go to seniors. You think you might know, okay, these guys are going to be the leaders and this and that. You really don't know until they're put into those spots, and he's been very pleased with this group, their leadership, and that's hopefully going to, like you said, set a nice tone for the underclassmen, because you got to have the system continue to replenish. You don't get to go out and recruit guys in the high school level to come in and fill this need or fill that need. You've got to develop them with what you've got, and if you get the buy-in and the belief from them, it starts there, and then hopefully you can coach them up a little bit from that point on.
Yeah, definitely. And another observation I had, I was down on the field and watching that last offensive set, and they've been able to run the plays and execute. A lot of times at this point in the season, even a week out, your offense is still a little bit sputtery. You still quite haven't figured out all the nuances to what you're doing. They have a really good grasp, it seems to me, from the outside looking in, that they understand what they're trying to accomplish. And it's not an easy offense that they're trying to run out there. When you start spreading people out, try to run zone, trying to find those gaps within the defense, it's not simple. And the best example of that was that one next to last play when the quarterback took a nice little read there,
yes,
and drove that ball up in there and then found it. And then not only that, the next step is to know which lane to run in once you make the good read. And he went right up the seam, found that hole in the defense, and that was probably one of the highlights of the night.
One of the benefits as well, another thing that Coach talked about, was the continuity of the coaching staff, and now entering his 5th season, every player on this field has now their entirety of a high school career. They have known this system and these coaches, and so that is a big thing to be able to start a couple of steps further down the road at this point, as opposed to having to do every little bit of install. And tonight, I agree, we've seen some good rhythm with the offense and not a lot of hesitation with the decisions and with who's supposed to be where and doing what, and it's looked pretty smooth here on Jamboree night for the Spring Hill offense and defense, for that matter. We'll take another quick break as Spring Hill is done here in the third quarter. Leavenworth and Turner, they'll battle it out for this final session of the third quarter, and then back for one more go-around. The Spring Hill defense will be on the field to take on the Turner offense. Then the Spring Hill offense will go up against the Leavenworth defense before we call it a night here on preseason Jamboree night across Kansas. And first for the state, and I think certainly a welcomed first for these coaches, these players, fans, and even broadcasters alike. And heck, referees, let's throw them in there. I'm sure they like a chance to get out there and see some live action before the season kicks off for real next Friday night. Back with more live action here from Spring Hill High School right after this on Spring Hill Sports Live.
A great collision on the field? Awesome. An awesome collision on the road? Not so great. If that bad play does come your way, take your car to Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center. As Kansas City's premier auto collision repair center, they work on all makes and models, even RV, marine, aviation, motorcycles, and more. Shoemaker Collision offers free estimates and loaners, plus they will work with all insurance companies. Get your ride back in the game. Learn more at shoemakercollision.com or call 913-592-0095.
When it comes to protecting your family, home, and business, look to a local, community-minded agent. In Spring Hill, that's Allstate agent Libby Clark. With more than 15 years of industry experience, Libby and her team are committed to providing a customized family protection plan that fits your needs. A full-service agency, Libby Clark offers a broad range of insurance and financial services, building relationships with a focus on helping their neighbors. That's the Libby Clark Agency. Visit them on the southeast corner of 223rd and Harrison in Spring Hill.
Are you looking for a trusted heating or air conditioning contractor in the Spring Hill area? Look no further than Comfort Designs. Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning has 100% NATE certified technicians who are friendly, knowledgeable, and ready to help. They'll care for your home and complete the job with speed and precision. Locally owned and operated for more than 20 years, Comfort Designs, Spring Hill's heating and air conditioning company. See all they have to offer at comfortdesigns.net or schedule your appointment at 913-592-4453.
Weitzel Optometry Vision Source has been the leader in optometry services and vision care in Spring Hill for more than 20 years. Weitzel Optometry offers comprehensive eye care, as well as the latest, most popular lenses and frames for Spring Hill and the surrounding communities. Experience modern eye care with advanced diagnostic technology and vision correction products. And with the experience of Doctors Weitzel and Bloodgood, you're sure to see the results you're looking for. To schedule your appointment, call Weitzel Optometry Vision Source at 913-592-2020. This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Welcome back to Spring Hill High School, Spring Hill Sports Live. I'm Bryce Kessler along with BJ Harris and Caden Carbajo on the camera for us tonight. Preseason Jamboree night, and we still got a little more action to go. We'll get to that when Spring Hill comes back onto the field. Right now it's Leavenworth and Turner on the field for their third session or third quarter of action tonight, and we're excited, BJ and I, and Caden, to get this season underway. Kicks off next Friday night with a home opener, season opener against Lewisburg High School here on Spring Hill Sports Live, and there has been lots of positive feedback that we've received from the community and the parents and the coaching staffs here at Spring Hill High School across all the sports to get this started. And guess what? There's still plenty of time for anybody else to get involved as well. We're excited to offer this new venture here at Spring Hill Sports Live, and would love to get more on board with some businesses and advertisers as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Still plenty of time. You can email springhillsportslive@gmail.com and let us know. We'll come out and talk about what we have to offer. But, you know, when you talk about getting this thing off the ground, when you do something like this, it starts at the school district level first. You have to have buy-in from the school district, buy-in from the leadership within the district to allow you to come out and kind of be a part of their thing. And that started several months ago, actually. Met with the leadership, went to a school board meeting, got a great school board here in Spring Hill, and talked to them about what we were trying to accomplish. Dr. Burke, Mr. Williams have been fantastic to allow us to do it. Mr. Williams kind of helped me through the summertime to get ready to go, and it's allowed us to have a good foundation of which to kind of start things on. And then able to go out into the community and meet people. Being somebody who's moving into the community, that was probably the best part, because I got a chance to just talk to a ton of people who have been here forever and learn about the town and learn about what it's all about, and then so many businesses that have allowed us to partner together. And you've seen some of the commercials. There's more coming. We're in the process of making all those right now, but still got plenty of room for plenty more sponsors, and really want to make a go of this for a long, long time. We're going to hope to expand. That'll come with more support and do even more sports throughout the seasons. But 40 is a pretty big chunk to bite off, honestly, right off the bat. When I first started this a couple of years ago at my alma mater in Girard, we just did football and basketball, and that was it. And so we've grown that, and we're trying to do the same here right off the bat. So, again, great support from the community. Do want to encourage you to go to springhillsportslive.com. You can go to advertise with us and see what it looks like, and if it's right for your business, right for your organization, then certainly reach reach out to us and let us know how we can help and how you can maybe help us continue to grow this thing.
Yeah, encourage everybody to tell a friend and 2 friends and 3 friends and the family members. And, we want to see the stands packed every game as well. But we know there's a lot of family and friends out of the area who just simply can't be at a game on a certain night and all that. And you can come back and watch them post-fact. If you get home and the big win and you just want to relive it again, you can pull us up and you can watch it again. And lots of great opportunities to provide more coverage of Spring Hill High School, and that's what we're looking forward to doing. And so spread the word. And I mentioned earlier, subscribe to our Spring Hill Sports Live YouTube channel, and that way you'll never miss out when there is a broadcast going live, and you can look at upcoming broadcasts which are going to be live on there, and you'll always be in the know when it comes to our broadcasts. And follow us, like us on Facebook, on Twitter as well, Spring Hill Sports Live, and so you can keep up to date that way. And as you mentioned, BJ, we'll continue to expand as things allow, but we're taking this first chunk out and seeing how things are going to roll, and we're looking forward to the opportunity to provide the coverage.
Yeah, I'm ready to get things going. It was I couldn't sit still today. I was at home, and I knew it was just going to be a practice, but football season. I'm a football guy, and that's it's been a big part of my life, my entire life, and continues to be. I'm very fortunate about that. But a game day Friday early in the season, it's like, let's go already. The clock just doesn't move fast enough, and I can't even imagine how next Friday is going to be. It's going to be even worse as we get ready to get this thing going on. But one guy I forgot to mention was Mr. Howard, new athletic director here at Spring Hill, and his first year. And getting his feet underneath him, and so he's been really gracious as well to when I first met him and talking about what we're trying to do and help us get up here today. And so again, the leadership within the district and coaching staff's been very open. Everybody has been very open to allowing us to do interviews with them and all that good stuff. So it's off to, I couldn't have asked for a better start, and then good community support. You see a lot of people out here tonight. I suspect there'll be twice as many next week.
Exciting times for us, exciting times for Spring Hill High School, and we, as you mentioned, can't wait to kick off the season next Friday night against Lewisburg right here at home at this beautiful facility at Spring Hill High School. More Jamboree action coming up momentarily. One final session. We're about 2 minutes out from that getting underway, so we'll be back right after this to continue our final session of this preseason Jamboree night from Spring Hill High School here on Spring Hill Sports Live.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
A great collision on the field? Awesome. An awesome collision on the road? Not so great. If that bad play does come your way, take your car to Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center. As Kansas City's premier auto collision repair center, they work on all makes and models, even RV, marine, aviation, motorcycles, and more. Shoemaker Collision offers free estimates and loaners, plus they will work with all insurance companies. Get your ride back in the game. Learn more at shoemakercollision.com or call 913-592-0095.
Your home for Bronco football is Spring Hill Sports Live. The Broncos kick off the 2019 season this Friday night as they welcome in the Lewisburg Wildcats. Our pregame coverage begins at 6:30, kickoff at 7. Catch every second of the action all season long at SpringHillSportsLive.com. It's the Broncos and the Wildcats this Friday night on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Bronco football live on Spring Hill Sports Live tonight. Preseason Jamboree, a first of its kind across the state of Kansas, and Spring Hill hosting this year with KC Turner and Leavenworth High School in town. We start the fourth quarter, if you will, of action in this Jamboree. 9 plays for the Spring Hill defense, then 9 plays for their offense. We'll wrap things up on this Jamboree night. It's the Turner offense on the field. Paul Vogan, their quarterback, throws a pick on the first play of this 9-play session, as Spring Hill hadn't officially forced a turnover yet tonight, but they do right there. Zach Knowlton with the interception for this 3-4 defense, which has looked very fast, and a lot of that speed comes from, obviously the players have that speed, but as well you can tell these guys are familiar with the system. Their head coach, Jason Feeback, in his 5th season. He's also the defensive coordinator for this Spring Hill team, and he's got his guys playing very fast, and when you don't have to think too much, It allows you to play faster, and that's what this defense has done so far tonight against two offenses that albeit are both looking for answers, looking for their guys in Turner and Leavenworth. Both teams went 1-8 last year, and they've got plenty of holes to fill from vacated spots from seniors on both those offenses. And this defense for Spring Hill, 6 guys returning as starters, and they've got a mixed match right now of starters and second-team guys on the field, mostly second-team guys on the field right now for this Spring Hill defense. There's another penalty against Spring Hill. We have seen them a couple of times tonight get a little antsy up there on the defensive line and call for a couple of encroachment penalties defensively. Plenty to put on tape. Some good plays, some bad plays. You can't have them all good on a preseason night. It's preseason, right? There's going to be some stuff to work out, but that's all right. That's what these are for, as, again, the Spring Hill defense quick to rally to the football, and they shut down that Turner offensive play for no gain. Don't have all the prep materials that we'll have for a normal broadcast with you, but won't be quite as generic when it comes to the actual season. But a chance tonight to just kind of roll things out and get a little taste of action before the season starts next Friday night. They open up with Lewisburg at home, Spring Hill does, and then they'll be on the road at Ottawa before they come back home against Bonner Springs, on the road at Paola. There's a false start on Turner. Home for DeSoto, the only non-league game for Spring Hill. That will be October 4th. And then they go back-to-back on the road with Tonganoxie and Piper. The only time this year where they have back-to-back home or away games. Everything else alternates home, away, home, away, home, away. Then you got away, away, and then you finish up at home senior night, October 25th against Baldwin High School. We'll have all those games broadcast live for you here on Spring Hill Sports Live, along with a couple of volleyball matches, soccer match coming up in October as well. First volleyball broadcast will be Thursday, September 19th, a home triangular against Blue Valley Southwest and Bonner Springs. Defending against the option right here, and they do a great job stringing that play out. Daniel Mitchell kept it contained to the outside and got a little help then from J.B. Watkins, who comes in to make that tackle. Anthony Lakin, the corner on the outside, helps set the edge as well. Almost forced another turnover right there. The defensive end on this right side tried to get a hand out in there and deflect that pitch. Tanner Thompson, a junior defensive end, who now flips and goes to the left side of the defensive side for Spring Hill. Out of the pistol, Paul Vogan, the quarterback for Turner, gives it off on an option pitch, and that goes nowhere as Zayd Barker, the starting running back, and definitely leaned on heavier offensively than defensively. A second-team guy on the defensive side of the football, and not necessarily because of a lack of skill on the defensive side, but got to keep that young man's legs fresh. They lean on him heavily offensively. He made a nice play there, blowing up that play in the backfield. A few more plays for this Spring Hill defense and Turner offense, and then they will call it a night for these two units. 3-4 defense for Spring Hill against that pistol spread offense for KC Turner. Vogan flushed down to the pocket to his left, throws off balance, short down the near sideline. Anthony Lakin diving back, trying to make that interception, and couldn't quite get there, but good coverage, good pressure up front. Had Vogan off balance, a run-first quarterback, dual threat guy, Paul Vogan, a guy they will lean on heavily for Turner for their offensive production this season. One of the returners, along with 4 guys up front, 4 starting offensive linemen returning for Turner this year. Defensively is where they've got a lot of questions after allowing 52 points per game last year and returning just 2 starters from that side of the football. But this Spring Hill defense, mostly second-team guys out there right now, they have had very few breakdowns at all. And there's a delay of game against KC Turner. We talked about early, I think it was the first session of the night, BJ brought up the new changes in the play clock. Instead of every play, as it used to be, every play, the play clock would not start until they'd sent the football, they'd get everything set, officials said, okay, blow the whistle, they'd start that play clock at 25. Well, now, at the end of every play, the play clock hits 40 and it starts right away. So a little bit of a change in how the play clock operates as that ball is thrown up for grabs down the middle of the field, nearly intercepted by Jake Hooker, and ends up incomplete amongst about 3 or 4 purple jerseys of the Broncos. There was one gold jersey for KC Turner in the area. Dangerous throw by Vogan. He got away with it in that instance. There was a penalty flag too, it looks like, but they're not going to move the football. They're already back at the 45. Haven't seen the delay of game be a factor really tonight. Granted, this is not nearly the same as far as the pressure, and you got coaches actually on the field in these cases, and a lot of it, I'm sure, is scripted in these cases. You got different looks, different plays, different sets that you want, both offensively and defensively. Clearly, there's no game planning or anything like that going on in this scenario, so a little quicker. You know what play the next play call is going to be. The guys have probably ran through the script in practice, so the play clock situation will really get put to the test next Friday night when these same lights are bright, but just a little bit brighter when those games count next Friday night, and the crowd just a little bit more rowdy, and the student section just a little bit fuller, and everything amps up next Friday night when they kick this season off for real against Lewisburg. Probably just a couple of plays left here for the Spring Hill defensive unit. Spring Hill offense will take the field next, and they will go up against the Leavenworth defense. It looks, based on the little huddle down here on the near sideline, it'll be the second team again that will be coming out for Spring Hill. And what will be the final time on the field here this evening in this preseason Jamboree.
Turner's going to struggle this year, would be my assessment. Just haven't quite got it going yet tonight. They've spent a lot of their plays with penalties and silly stuff like that. That's the thing that's going to drive the coach crazy. This quarterback's throws a really nice ball, especially from his back foot. Whenever he's kind of backpedaling a little bit, he threw a couple good ones. But
he's been off balance a lot, whether that comes from just the clock, it appears, in the head, a little bit sped up, I'm sure, from past experience, just, not having the confidence to set up in the pocket, because even right there, probably a little bit quick on the release on a ball that he had pretty good protection on. Guy had a step down here on the near sideline, but underthrew him by about 8 yards. And, yeah, it's going to be a season for KC Turner. As I mentioned, the 1-8 last year. They struggled really on both sides, whether stopping teams from scoring and scoring themselves. Outscored 449-73 in their final 8 games last year. That was after they won their lone game in their season opener against Harmon, 28-20, and it was a tough road following that. And Leavenworth, they were kind of in the same boat, as now it's the Leavenworth defense in the white jerseys on the field, and Spring Hill's offense back at it, as Letellier, the backup quarterback, oh no, I beg your pardon, that is Myers back in there, number 2 in purple. So Corbin Myers and the starters are back in there. That was Zade Barker on the carry for 7 yards. Starters are going to get a few more reps here, as Letellier was in that huddle. He's on the field as well. Evan Letellier, who was the backup quarterback, they've got them both on the field currently, and Letellier getting some reps as a wide receiver as well. He's on the far side of the field, the wide receiver that way. Barker behind Myers in the pistol, and Myers, good setup, and fires a nice ball down to the 22-yard line. Making the catch on his backside is Knowlton, who's been very busy out of that slot. That appears, anyway, to be a bit of a favorite target starting to develop there for Corbin Myers. He's hooked up with Knowlton multiple times tonight.
Yep, he knew where he was going to be on the field, and he threw that ball on that third step. 1, 2, 3, and he let it rip. That's how that's going to have to be in order for that to stay open, because it was right between 2 defenders. If you don't throw it when you're supposed to, those guys are going to find that guy, and that's going to be one of those dangerous throws. The other thing they've been doing a really nice job of is getting the line of scrimmage with about 13 seconds left to give themselves plenty of time on the play clock.
Myers this time gives to Barker, who's trying to beat everybody to the edge on the near side. Not going to quite be able to do it as he picks up a couple down at the 19-yard line, where he is wrestled down by the Leavenworth pursuit. You know, I was talking, you were down there mingling with the fans, and I was talking about that play clock thing. And tonight, I'm sure a lot of this is scripted stuff. I mean, they're not obviously, game planning or making adjustments based off what the defense is showing them necessarily. They want to get looks at this play, this set. The play clock real test will come next Friday night when all of a sudden it's not just a script of this is what we want to run. Now you've got to get those play calls in. You get the offensive coordinators got to make the decisions on those play calls quicker if there's the situation meant the play clock starts 40 as soon as the next play's dead.
Yeah, where you're really getting into trouble is personnel changes. So if you need to change personnel, other thing sometimes is just the other team is slow to get on their side of the ball, or officials not quite where they need to be, and they don't get the ball placed as fast as it needs to be. I mean, there's a lot of factors that can kind of go into this, and I'm sure that's something that's been discussed at the KC level, and certainly the officials have had conversations about getting the ball set. If they're going to expect them to, run that play in 40 seconds, that means the ball needs to be in place and ready to go well before 40 seconds. And so, yeah, that's something here is they brought in new quarterbacks. And while you were looking at me, talking to me, they brought in new quarterback and 3 new offensive linemen. But the other thing is when they send plays in, they don't send anybody in. That quarterback comes over about to the numbers, and the coach talks to him and signals in. It's a little bit of verbiage, and it's a little bit of hand signals as well. But, again, they're still with the backups getting the line of scrimmage in 20 seconds or so. So that's a dangerous pass. Good.
Well, I think the good news was that based on the trajectory of that pass by Letellier, I think he saw that white jersey there and decided, you know what, I'm okay with an incomplete here. I'm going to sail this one over his head, because if he put that one on the line, it was headed the other way probably.
Number 2s have had a nice night tonight as well for Spring Hill. When they've gotten in there, the guys, and they've got kind of a mixture of 1s and 2s, but and I've been really, really pleased with up front. I mentioned earlier in the broadcast and the other day when we were out here watching scrimmage, they looked undersized, and they are. I mean, against a lot of standards you're going to see at this level, but they've held their own up front and have done a nice job moving the line of scrimmage.
Little bunch set to the right this time. Still the 4 receivers, but 3 of them bunched up on the right side, and they hand off to Jacob Stovall as stonewalled at the line of scrimmage.
Nice. You used that up in practice, though. You should have saved that for a regular season matchup.
Hey,
I bet it comes back.
It might. You just never know what'll come out. A man of the moment. Stovall will check out of the game after that.
He heard what you said.
We can call it a game.
He heard your pun and had to come out of the game.
Yep, that ended on that one. That's it, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. It is almost to the point of, for real, saying, that's it, folks. We're closing in on the end of this 9-play session for the Spring Hill offense. Letellier with a little shoulder fake, little bobble, and it's an interception. They're going to go ahead and just blow this one dead. No scores to be had, so don't need anything crazy happen to go on the other way. But that ball tipped off one of the defender's hands, intended for Klutz, but he almost made the catch off the first tip.
He did. His head didn't come around probably when it should have. He was a little late kind of looking back for it. He could have had a play on the ball had he looked and saw it a little bit underthrown and behind him. He was going to be in position to better than the defender. And then it hit the defender's hands and then up in the air. And
little tip drill.
Yep.
And that is the end of the session for the Spring Hill offense. So they are complete tonight. That is it for them. They will have one more session of action here with Leavenworth and the Leavenworth offense and the Turner defense will take the field. But for Spring Hill, that's all the plays they'll be allowed to run by KC tonight. So I think some good work got in for Spring Hill tonight. I think they got a lot of good stuff on film. Go back and have their film session Monday and break this down and learn a lot. Had a lot of positive moments and had some few learning moments as well.
Yeah, and that's ideal. I think this is a huge success. I'm excited to go back and see all the games across the area, anybody who put them on film, and get a hold of some Huddle Fiddle video and see how everybody else did tonight. But this is a really good thing. I'm glad they did this. I hope they continue to, and I think based on the success of this one, probably pretty safe bet.
Well, let's take a look at the broadcast schedule we have coming up here in this fall sports season on Spring Hill Sports Live. We've mentioned it multiple times throughout the night. We kick it off next Friday night with Lewisburg coming to town in the season opener for the Broncos. Week 2, they're on the road at Ottawa. And then first taste of volleyball comes up on Thursday, September 19th. The Triangular at home with Blue Valley Southwest and Bonner Springs. We'll have that broadcast for you live here on SpringHillSportsLive.com. And then back onto the gridiron for Bonner Springs coming to town in Week 3. The Broncos will visit Paola in Week 4. Another tough matchup there, as Paola was one of the top dogs in the league last year, finished second only to Lewisburg, a 9-2 team from a season ago. DeSoto for homecoming, the only non-league game for the Broncos. That is October 4th here on Spring Hill Sports Live. And then more volleyball action, the Spring Hill tournament on that Saturday, October 5th. We'll carry the Spring Hill matches for you in the home tournament for the Broncos. And then more football action, back-to-back road games for the Broncos. They go to Tonganoxie on the 11th, then at Piper on the 18th. Soccer, they're 1-0 to start the season. They defeated Piper tonight 4-1. Great opening season win for Eric Schwartz's guys. As we talked to him earlier tonight, you can check out that interview at SpringHillSportsLive.com. A little bit later on, we'll get that up there for you. You can check out his thoughts before their match from tonight. And he was very upbeat and positive about his guys' opportunity and his guys' chances, not only in that game, but throughout this season. And they definitely rewarded that optimism tonight with a nice 4-1 victory.
Yeah, he's such a laid-back guy. You got the chance to meet him and then interview him today. But he's laid back, but you can kind of tell there's a little bit boiling underneath there. And he I think he knows what he has this year as well. And what's really exciting about Spring Hill soccer right now, too, is, and I talked to him about this, they're the host of the 5A state championship. It's going to be played here in this venue coming up this fall, and they're hosting 5A girls soccer in the spring as well. And so that's a big deal to host a state championship. A lot of times those are done at college facilities. This is as good, if not better, than most college facilities. And so you can bet they're a team that doesn't want to be sitting there having other teams in their locker room when the state championship rolls around. So that's a little bit of motivation for Coach Schwartz and his kids.
So we'll have that soccer match for you on the 24th when they host DeSoto. And then the final regular season football game on the 25th, the next night after that soccer game, when Baldwin comes to town for senior night here on Spring Hill Sports Live. Playoffs kick off as November kicks off, and we hope that we get to add some more postseason stuff even below that, perhaps, with the other sports and with football as well, for that matter. But
that would be ideal. The way that Acacia went to last year was the first round is essentially your 9th game of the year. It used to be you'd have 9 regular season games. Everybody's guaranteed 9 games that first round. And the way I understand it in the 4A level is they basically just, after week 8, they seed it and you go play on the East, one of 16 teams. If you're the number 16 team, you play the number 1 team, so on and so forth, all the way through. I think that's the way it's done. So really that first round game is essentially your final regular season game, but it's classified as a playoff game because it is that first round.
Right, which used to be the 9-game regular season. So, well, that's your fall broadcast schedule right there. I can tell you from my perspective, I can't wait to get things rolling. I know you can't wait, BJ,
Yep.
and hopefully the fans, hopefully you're going to enjoy the product we put out here for you. We are proud of it and can't wait to get started next Friday night with the season opener against Lewisburg here on Spring Hill Sports Live. Go ahead.
No, I'm excited. Let's do it.
All right. The JV's
Let's
wrapping
fast
things
forward
up
next week and get to Friday. How about that?
There we
do
go.
That? Is there you have control over that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's some honeydews I got to get done before then, so I don't know if we fast forward, I'm going to be in trouble. But, no, we can't wait. We're excited to do it. So thanks for joining us tonight for this preseason Jamboree, a chance for everybody to get a little taste of the real deal, which will happen next Friday night. Caden Carbajo on the camera for us tonight. BJ Harris, I'm Bryce Kessler. Again, thank you for joining us tonight. Can't wait to have you on board next Friday night when the Broncos kick it off against Lewisburg from Spring Hill, and right here live on Spring Hill Sports Live. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel there /Spring Hill Sports Live. Follow us at Spring Hill Live on Twitter and on Facebook as well, Spring Hill Sports Live, so you never miss any of the action coming your way. with the Broncos this year. That's it for tonight. We'll talk to you next Friday night when Lewisburg comes to town on Spring Hill Sports Live, SpringHillSportsLive.com.
It's time for Spring Hill High School football.
One to the right side. Braden throws the slant for Kroll. In and out. Did he catch it on a bobble? He did. Bryson Kroll hauls it in for a 9-yard touchdown reception.
Spring Hill Sports Live is brought to you by Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning, Price Chopper, Kim Thompson at Prudential Financial, the Spring Hill Recreation Commission, Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center, Cedar Lake Village, Crown Realty, the Elliott Insurance Group, Prime Accounting Solutions, Farmers Insurance, Leah Smith Agency, Tri-Century Bank, Allstate, Libby Clark Agency, the Spring Hill Chamber of Commerce, Spring Hill Fitness, Perfect Detail Salon, and Whitesell Optometry.
5.